The Anatomy of Inhumanity, an examination of bullying in healthcare, through the lens of moral injury and systemic dysfunction. As told by Gillian Johnny, the Fragile Warrior. Infused with sacred insight, philosophical witness, and spiritual authority, woe to the shepherds who destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, says the Lord. Jeremiah 23:1. It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. Jiddu Krishnamurti. Moral injury is the betrayal of what's right by someone in authority in a high-stakes environment. Dr. Jonathan Shea. Healthcare, a field often regarded as one of compassion and healing, paradoxically harbors a disturbing undercurrent of workplace bullying and inhuman treatment among staff. This piece is not a complaint, but an awakening to a deeper issue, a pattern of moral injury disguised as professionalism, and a system designed to reward compliance over conscience. Many of us entered healthcare with genuine hearts and moral compasses that pointed toward helping others. We hold ourselves to high standards and raise our children to do the same. Yet the same systems that praise our caregiving often treat us, the caregivers, as disposable. It's not uncommon to see a colleague ignored, disrespected, or dismissed, not for a lack of skill, but for daring to show humanity, for speaking truth, for feeling deeply. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. In every shift, from the morning rush to the overnight hours, we show up with certifications, degrees, licenses, or years of experience, ready to serve. And yet, we are met with coldness, indifference, sometimes even cruelty. The culture in many healthcare environments subtly, and sometimes overtly, rewards emotional detachment, silence, and overwork. There is no badge for kindness, no extra pay for spiritual presence, and certainly no system in place for protecting those who challenge the norm with truth. We are asked to show up for patients in crisis, but no one asks how we are doing. We are praised for working overtime, but never seen when we're falling apart. There's a silent rule: suffer quietly, smile anyway. But that suffering builds. It accumulates in the soul, not just the body, and that's when moral injury sets in. The paradox of trauma is that it has both the power to destroy and the power to transform and resurrect. Peter A. Levine. Moral injury occurs when we must act against what we believe is right, or when we witness inhumanity and feel powerless to stop it. It's the pain of compromising your ethics to keep your job, the grief of seeing a patient mistreated, the burnout of knowing the system is flawed, but feeling you have no voice to change it. And then there's the bullying, the subtle kind and the overt kind. It looks like favoritism, cliques, dismissive tones, being overlooked for promotion, being spoken to with condescension, being set up to fail, or simply being treated like you don't exist. It creates a culture of fear, especially when the people doing the bullying are in positions of authority. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. This isn't just about bad management. It's a systemic issue, rooted in metrics, insurance, politics, and profit. Human dignity becomes secondary to documentation, and those who want to make a difference are often silenced, labeled difficult, or forced out. What does it mean when the people called to heal others are themselves spiritually and emotionally bruised by their environment? How can we keep asking humans to care for others when we refuse to care for them? Physicians are being conditioned to practice in ways that violate their ethical obligations, and this produces moral injury. Dr. Wendy Dean and Dr. Simon Talbot. This is not an attack. This is an invitation to see what has been hidden, to feel what's been buried, and to restore what's been lost. Because when we begin to awaken to these patterns, we can choose differently. We can start healing ourselves. We can speak up, build new systems, create spaces where presence is valued, where care is mutual, where the healer is not destroyed in the process of healing. We can't afford to ignore this any longer. Not just for the sake of the workers, but for the soul of healthcare itself. Final closing, spoken plus caption. If this story stirred something in you, if you've ever felt unseen in a place that should have felt sacred, or silenced in a system that claims to heal, I invite you to like, share, and comment below. Your story matters. Your voice matters. And this conversation is just beginning. Subscribe to the channel if you're ready to keep exploring what it really means to heal from within, as a caregiver, a truth seeker, or a soul on assignment. And if you want to go deeper, I highly recommend watching this TED Talk by Dr. Pamela Wible, Why Doctors Kill Themselves, TEDMED. It's not just a video, it's a mirror. It puts a name to what so many of us have felt: the quiet moral injury behind the badge, the pain behind the professionalism. As you watch it, ask yourself, what's really happening inside our systems? And what would it take to restore humanity in healthcare? Visit www.fegalisticrestoration.com for sacred training, storytelling, and community care resources. Because we're not just here to survive the system, we're here to transcend it together.